play though out of Dream to just be moving over here on this side of the map, pulling all of Sleep's forces over. If he moves out with a big force into Sleep's natural, that would be just brilliant positioning, but it looks like he's going to further try and pull the force out of position with this double drop, moving up here to the top of the... Man, there's an Ultralisk waiting to greet it.
And right now we actually have Dream going for Cloaked Ghosts, as well as adding on a couple starboards here.
Yeah.
But right now he's still just struggling to keep up and keep his opponent distracted while he tries to get the proper counters out.
Yeah, I mean, Sleep actually has just like fantastically good multitasking, so I'm not surprised by that at all. 2 Ultras at this base, the rallies were not set, and those medevacs are going to go down as well to the Corruptor, so losing the medevacs once more. It looks like he does have another couple Marines. Oh, that's just 2 Marines. I thought that might have been medevacs, because they're just blips on the minimap to me. But Sleep, like you said, Thundertoss, man, he is in such a comfortable position right now where he can really just kind of do what he wants, and most Zergs don't get that luxury.
Yeah, a lot of times you're not really going to see Ultras and Broodlords in numbers at the same time, but right now we see 5 more Corruptors on the way, Banelings on the way, a secondary Spire even, as he's also researching Flyer Carapace level 2, and he's just looking so strong right now. But Dream has maxed out here, sitting very nicely on those 4 bases, and we see Cloaking about to finish for him as well. 5 more medevacs on the way as he keeps on losing them to that Corruptor number, maybe expecting that because that Spire timing, he was just going to be facing Broodlords, but no, the anti-air from Sleep is adequate, and as we see, Ling's actually going to stop this 5th base from going up from Dream here at the bottom left, and he's pushing forward, taking the center as well. But 3 nukes are on the way. Oh my goodness.
This game is about to get insane, and it's kind of interesting because a lot of Terrans have been struggling with this matchup, Thundertoss, where they're like, I don't know how to win anymore. The Zergs are just getting too good at holding down all the drop aggression everywhere, and that used to be my go-to to win. But here is
we have
a
ghost over here at the natural. Baneling's actually going to find it, but no, not going to go for it.
He's not cloaked, actually, and he's just going to die to those Banelings. But at the same time, we do have a cloaked ghost in here in the middle, who is taking out some of those infestors. Sleep could actually just detonate some Banelings on top of where it is. Oh, he fungals it instead, and that will finish off the ghost. Oh, no, he needs another fungal. There it is.
We also have a cloak ghost over here at the 5th base at 11 o'clock.
And he has finished his nukes. And there is a nuke going down, so let's hope that Sleep is not colorblind, because that could be a really awkward situation for him. I love the positioning of the nuke. It's like right on the edge of the hatchery between the queen and the hatch. It's going to be so hard to see. Does Sleep see it? Oh, wow. Beautiful
32
nuke.
kills on that ghost right now.
Wow.
Dream just now took a huge supply lead, adding on some extra command centers, taking both of these bottom left-hand bases right now, and doing exactly what he needs to do to get ahead
at the natural at the same time. Will the ghost get killed in time? It looks like the answer is yes. There was a triple drop to come in and finish off everything it didn't kill, but Dream doing amazing damage with these nukes right now. But Sleep, you know, he is, I think he's still in kind of a comfortable position. He's just kind of hanging out.
Triple drop at the natural here from Sleep, targeting down the Roach Horn as well, but the Greater Spire is here in range. And that's something to mention. The hatchery does go down. Right now, these units are doing a lot of damage right now. There's also a nuke over here at the 11 o'clock. Not yet queued up, though. 3 more nukes in production for Dream, as he is just going crazy on this, even adding on an additional Ghost Academy.
Yeah, I mean, that mass nuke style is really good, man, and if you can pull it off. But here is a drop over here at the 10:30 as well. Baneley's going to come and roll in, take out all the Marines in that drop, but there's a reinforcement drop as well, and there's actually another ghost. Oh, now we have the top expansion on the left-hand side getting nuked. Sleep probably does not see it. There are nukes everywhere, and his supply, I mean, he's back max with 10 more Corruptors on the way, but he's going to have to make something happen soon. Otherwise, he's not going to have any. No, and it does land.
That ghost has 59 kills now, queuing up another nuke at that base. There's also a ghost in the center, nuking the 12 o'clock once again. And Sleep is just rolling with the punches here, producing even more Broodlords. He's got 9 out so far. Nuke lands on the 12 o'clock again. 37 health left on that hatchery.
Oh, and a double drop going into the main. Dream literally maxed out and said, okay, now is the time when I'm going to put on unstoppable aggression everywhere. And he is absolutely doing that. If he could snipe the pool here, this could be huge. And I think, actually, no, he's going for the Ultralisk Cavern. does not want any of those Ultralists out on the field, and Dream at the same time, man, he is expanding everywhere. He's got planetaries all over the place. He killed off the 1030 expansion of Sleep. Where is Sleep mining from? And the answer is like his third base, kind of, and that's it. Oh, another nuke. It's actually on top of a lot of this army and the tech, and the Greater Spire is going to fall. No Broodlords will be coming out for Sleep anytime in the next 2 minutes.
He has lost so much tech here. The Baneling Nest going down, the Roach Warren going down, the spawning pool falling as well. If you look at his larva, the only thing he can produce are roaches, infestors, and mutas pretty much. But right now, that Broodlord composition over at the 6 o'clock, just doing so much damage. And now we have some Banelings rolling in. There's actually a double planetary here at the 6 o'clock to try to defend this.
Yeah.
But
it's not going to matter, man. It's not going to matter.
He's looking angry here as there's so many Broodlords and Corruptors here. The Corruptor count able to take down the Vikings just immediately, and the repair just being useless against so many Broodlings right now.
I mean, and I feel like Sleep really needs to start rebuilding this tech immediately. He has so many minerals banked. He needs to just start like mass producing hatcheries all over the place to deal with this, as we do see the Corruptors coming for quite a bit of them. They need to be able to take out those Vikings. The Broodlord's doing so much damage, but a beautiful concave from Dream. Is he going to have enough to take this? There are no infestors to back this up. Oh, here they come along with the Banelings, so finally getting that armory composition in the right place that he needs. Planetary working on that. Ultras, the Broodlords pushing forward. Are we going to see a defensive nuke out of Dream? And at the same time, his aggression seems to have abated as his drops all have been cleaned up. Sleep might be able to take it coming up in just the next few minutes as he cleans up this Terran army.
Right now, the Broodlords are retreating just slightly. A Cloak Ghost pushing forward, trying to do a little bit of damage, maybe snipe some of those infestors so they actually can push down the ramp. But again, being repelled by just the sheer number of Broodlings right now. Dream down to 115 supply compared to the 172 for Sleep, who has just been distance mining from across the map everywhere, just relying on that bank, which is finally gone. So he's under 300 right now. But Dream still has command centers over there in the bottom left and one floating because there's a burrowed ling. But right now, continuing to push forward, trying to get those Broodlord counts down. But right now, looking at the units tab, 9 Broodlords, 4 Ultras, as well as 5 Infestors still left versus the 25 Marines, 3 tanks, 2 Vikings,
that is so many Corruptors.
Nukes, though.
That is ridiculous. We have 22 Corruptors on the field right now, Thunder Toss. That's where the bank went. As soon as he had that Spire back up, he was like, all right, I have to be able to kill all the Vikings all the time. And here comes Sleep. 168 supply, pushing up toward the Terran base. The cluster of 3 bases there. How many Vikings are out on the field? 4. Guess what? That's not enough to take on 22 Corruptors, Thunder Toss.
And he's trying to do enough damage with these Marines pushing down from each of these ramps, but the Infestors are here to fungal them as soon as they clump up. And another nice fungal there on the ramp. The Vikings
GG out of Dream. What an amazing game there we just saw. And that was only game number 1.
That was really well played. Dream just did so much counter damage to try to come back in that. The nukes landing all over the place, getting over 59 kills on that single ghost,
man. He went from like no kills to 32 kills in 1 nuke. That guy was like, it's okay, I got an inside track to be promoted to commander. Bam! Drops the nuke. Takes out all the drones. And it was so weird too, because Sleep was like in a beautiful position. Like he was on 4.5 bases. He's like, I got Broodlords, I got my Ultralists. They're all coming up. My upgrades are fantastic. I finally held off all of your shenanigans with the Hellions. I get to spread some creep, and then all of a sudden, Dream is just everywhere at once with nukes and drops.
Right, so Dream's early game was so strong, able to deny that creep, opening with the double factory, throwing Sleep off, although Sleep nicely not overreacting with the Roach count, able to turn Dredgen flawlessly, and even though he hadn't hit that tech point, was able to hold off some really key engagements in the beginning with just circling Baneling, and that bought him enough of a buffer, and we saw him try to go for those 2 top left bases, and still had enough gas to produce, again, that multi-tech army with the Ultras and the Broodlords and the Infestors, and both players are actually 3-3, but here we go into game number 2. We have x6Sleep spawning as our red Zerg here at the bottom right hand of Antigua Shipyard. His opponent, MVP Dream, spawning as our blue Terran in the top left.
Yep, and I mean, Sleep is, man, I almost feel like, you know, in that last game, like any other Zerg would have been thrown off enough by the Hellions, and then thrown off enough by the timing that hit right before the Spire to where they actually wouldn't have been able to be in that comfortable of a position. But Sleep held those off so beautifully. That's the only reason that Dream just didn't absolutely crush him with that aggression in the late game there. Sleep just had too much gas banked, too many minerals banked, and was able to produce 22 Corruptors as soon as he had that Spire back, which was kind of ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah,
22
such a surprise to see Terran when they go into that drop phase and are able to take out all the tech, to see the Zerg still not panic and be able to recover so well. And Sleep just was okay with going for that essentially base trace, as all the units from Dream were kind of dropping in Medivacs all over the place, and his slow Broodlords were already across the map. But he played it really patiently, was able to advance forward, kept the Terran back up into his bases with those Infestors, even though the Infestor count wasn't that high, but just played it really, really well. And despite the Cloak Ghost damage, was able to win through that.
It is true, and I mean, Sleep now moving out across the map with the drone, wants to check what's going on. Of course, we have a command center first build out of Dream, which I like CC first builds quite a bit. Sleep's going to get up here. He's going to see that command center going down on the low ground with that drone, sees that there are no barracks, no gas, and goes, yeah, there's a command center there, and I'm just going to harass you as much as I can. And here's the question, because if you go for the CC first, if Sleeps, for instance, oh, look at this, he's taking the gas first, Thunder Toss, this could be some sort of early roach push with 5 or 7 roaches off of 2 base that could disrupt sort of this late Marine, late tech production out of Dream.
Definitely so. We'll see what flavor he decides to go for. You can also go for some Baneling Bust, since you know that your opponent is going to be on relatively low tech for quite some time.
You can skip the Queens, and that's a Jelizer build, man. You skip the Queens and go Ling Bane all in off 2 hatch. It's Jelizer actually took out MVP in the GSL with that many seasons ago. And
always nice to take some notes from the God of War when you're facing such an economic build.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And, I mean, that build crushed MVP, and MVP went 1x expand. Now, granted, it was on Xel'Naga Caverns, which should give you some vintage of the game, right? Back in the days when Xel'Naga Caverns was in there. But, I mean, Sleep's response here is either has to be aggression, or it has to be, I'm going to take a very fast third.
Yeah, I think so, but we'll see what he does. You can also actually tech probably, since again that Marine count is going to be what MVP Dream is going to be relying on for a majority of the early game. If you can rush out either some Banelings or possibly even a rush to Infestors, there are some builds that can actually just try to break that through. But right now we actually see Dream going for an early factory, so he's going to try to get some Hellions out to defend, but using this off of only 1 gas right now and only 1 Marine, that's incredibly greedy. But right now, Sleep not looking to do anything too aggressive or anything too risky against it, so I think it's going to pay off.
Yep, I mean, he just threw down the speed. He's got those 2 Queens on the way, continuing to drone up. But, I mean, being on equal bases with the Terran starts to get a little bit scary for the Zerg player. The longer you sit there, the longer those mules and the extra SCV production for the Terran has a chance to, kind of take its effect. But Sleep now sending out a drone, potentially for quite an early third. He did get speed first, so it's not like I'm going to go 3 hatch before gas like we see in, of course, the ZvP matchup. But it is quite an early third for this matchup before the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, and we'll have to actually see and keep an eye on when he actually starts adding on more gas, because there are a couple builds that just throw massive amounts of lings at your opponent, and now with that 3rd hatchery going to be on the way, that's going to be a really nice mineral income boost. So if he decides to go for something like that, that actually might work out. Because the Hellions are a little bit later, you can actually start flooding lings in before they reach kind of critical mass where they can start one-shotting your lings. But right now we do see Dream with that bunker at the bottom. Always important to note as a Terran player, you need to rush that bunker if you're going to go for a CC first. It's part of the drawbacks of the build, but you do that get that extra mule really early, so that's nice. And look at this, Dream going for a very fast 3rd command center. So playing it incredibly risky here, even going up to Starport. It looks like he's going to swap that onto the Tech Lab and hope that the airplay is going to give him enough map control to negate any kind of aggression from our Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right with that Thunder Toss. Dream is choosing to spend all of his money effectively in this tech, which hasn't paid for itself and hasn't done any damage yet, and in expansions, which again, haven't paid for themselves. And oh, Sleep, look at this beautiful Overlord Scout. Those Overlords are actually so speedy now. He's going to be able to see everything going down, sees that the Tech Lab is not researching as well, so knows there's no cloak, but does see that the Banshee is on the way.
Oh, actually, we do see a fake out by Dream. He's starting to research Caduceus Reactor, which is a little bit more inexpensive than Cloak, but it still looks like that Tech Lab is researching Cloak. So Dream is going to have to factor that into his play here. But right now we do see